Hey there, I'm Helen King, a brand new singer-songwriter playing the London indie rock music scene. Listen to my personal story on Networking Magazine podcast. From being a music lover from a young age to releasing my own debut album, Look Back No More, out now. 10 tracks of anthemic, melodic, emotive indie rock. You can get a behind-the-scenes glimpse of how it felt to launch my debut album at the iconic London venue The Water Rats on the 11th of February 2025. Look Back No More by Helen King's out now on all major streaming platforms.
At just 23, she's already defied the odds by breaking into the world of professional modelling from a backdrop of East Yorkshire. From her early days, studying art, design and fashion, to overcoming struggles with confidence and forging her own path in an industry where few from her community have ventured, Lexi brings a refreshingly honest and inspiring perspective now as she collaborates on a new platform to champion fashion, culture and creativity in her region. She's set on empowering others to follow their dreams. Lexi's creative flair has led to collaborations with top lifestyle, beauty, fashion brands. Most recently, she brought a playful twist to Lovehoney's boutique lingerie line, partnering with the renowned British retailer to create fresh, engaging content. She also showcases bold colours and innovative styling as a hair model for L'Oreal. Lexi Jo, welcome to the show.
Hello, lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. I've been meaning to get in contact with you for a while. You've got an interesting background, an interesting backstory. Where did your story begin? Was it something you fell into by mistake? Is it something that was very planned? Let's start with where you grew up. Where did you grow up?
Okay, so I've grown up in quite a small town called Beverley, which is in East Yorkshire area.
Right.
So the middle of the UK, if you will.
Yeah, nice.
So I've grown up in an area where this industry is not a common career path.
Right.
So it was never planned. It was always something where, to take it back in the day, I'd say, so back in college and school days, I've always had a bit of an interest in art and design and like the creative industry as such.
Right.
And I always saw myself wanting to take up some sort of design career, but I wasn't really sure at that stage what was going to come.
Right.
Um, and I massively lacked confidence as well. So
I
it's
read that.
kind of
I read about your confidence and that you took quite a knock at the beginning. Was how did you get into this industry with a lack of confidence? Is there something you did? Is there something that you had to overcome?
You know what? It's the strangest story ever. So I actually remember the moment. So from college, when I came and left college,
Hmm.
I went into a normal, what we class as a normal job, which was
Right.
retail and catering, and I've been doing that for 5 years,
Right.
with doing modelling on the side. But where it actually came from, was so strange. I had a few friends muttering in my ear, saying, "Oh, you should try modeling," you know. And I never really thought much of it, but in my spare time, I spent so much time watching runway videos, seeing
Yeah.
everyone on the advertising and thinking, "Gosh, how do they do it? That could, that's just so impossible
Sure.
for me to do." But it's funny, one day I was on holiday. I actually remember the precise moment. I was on holiday in North Yorkshire with my family, and I was just scrolling through social media as you do. And on
As you do.
Facebook, as you do, yeah, and on
Yeah.
Facebook, it just came as a pop-up for a £25 photo shoot in my area. And I thought, oh, that's different. So I sent it to a few friends. I said, what do you think? And they said, go for it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I went
Wow.
for that photo shoot and it all just came from there. I went in there not really expecting anything from it, just a little bit of a confidence boost, a little bit of a, dipping your feet in the water, um,
Sure.
to see what would come. And I went into the viewing area on that shoot, and
Right.
the owner of that studio told me to wait a few minutes, came back and told me that my images were absolutely impressive, that he wanted to give me a job as their ambassador for their photography studio.
Wow.
And then I ended up walking in a little catwalk for them with a lingerie brand that they were working with called Empower Lingerie. That's kind of how I've carried the carried it forwards with the whole empowerment journey throughout.
Right, right. It's an interesting story because I mean, not everyone can, if you've to get into it is one thing, but to find the confidence is another, and you
Oh,
went in the deep end,
absolutely.
so to
I
speak.
did. You
So,
know what? The best way to do it, I found, was just throwing myself in the deep end. It was never going to happen
wow,
any other way, and
yeah.
it's just got come from leaps and bounds from there.
You did say,
It's
and
been
you make no secret of it, that it really isn't something your area can boast about being in, the modelling industry, that the region, the area that you're in. It was quite different for you to go into that. So, what kind of opposition did you get? Did you get friends and family saying, "Listen, don't go into that. Get a proper job"? Did you get, or what kind of resistance did you get for newbies trying to get into this? I guess that's one of the things maybe that you'd be able to give some advice on.
exactly. I mean, at the start, my my family in particular did not see it as a stable career, like you say.
Right?
Friends had mixed opinions, but I think it really took a shock to my parents of like, because I
Yeah.
come from a very, I come from a very hardworking family, but not a
Sure.
family that's ever been, directly going into the public eyes, as you will.
Sure.
And so it came as quite a shock to them. They thought, oh, how on earth are you going to make money out of this?
Sure. Yeah.
At the beginning of my career, I was putting so much time and money into it because you have to.
Right.
Unfortunately, you don't get results if you don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Especially for people like me, where it hasn't come from. I haven't come from a background where someone in my family has been in the industry before. It was a completely new thing for me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the finding the confidence and the combination of kind of speaking with family members and it not feeling like something you could really progress in at the start, but just
Yeah.
keeping that consistency going and I just really believed in it.
I'm sure. I mean, you've come a long way. We're going to talk about that. So let's get on to some sort of questions to ask you, really, that I've written
Sure.
down. So, some have come in from a few from social media. I said I'm going to be interviewing you, and they said, "Oh, can you ask this?" You've worked with some big brands, Lovehoney, the
Yeah.
boutique lingerie line. You've worked with L'Oreal or contributed to L'Oreal. So let's start with the brands before we get on to the hard questions. How easy is it to work with brands? Is it something that's you need an agent for? Do you contact them yourself? It's for the audience listening in. They're probably thinking,
Mhm.
how did Lexi get the big brands? From, how did she do that? So how did it happen for you?
Yeah, so I did start, and I still do continue to work with independent brands who are just
Right.
starting out. I really like coming from that kind of perspective. I've never been one to kind of aim straight for the biggest brand that I can get.
Sure.
But it takes a lot of, it takes two to tango kind of thing. I think on some occasions, I've reached out to brands or I've met someone in the industry who's maybe been connected in that way, and
Right.
they've
Right.
saw my look, and thought,
Yeah.
yes, you'd be perfect. But
Yeah.
I have, like, Lovehoney, for example, they reached out to me to do a campaign for them. So
Right.
like you do get reached out to, and I think
Yeah.
it's because I've built up a portfolio over 5 years. I've got such a variety in there, and I think
Yeah.
that's really helped me with showing how I can go from one look to another very quickly.
And you do have a lot of different looks. I mean, I had a look at your Instagram, and I just couldn't believe the diversity of it. You've got shots there that look like they've come straight out of LinkedIn or a professional site, and then you go straight to sort of
Brilliant.
lingerie. Yeah, it just is so many looks, but that's great. I think that's really diversive, and that's something that's needed in the industry. So really good. Okay, well, let's get on to some of these challenging questions then. The first one is art, design, and fashion. So you have a background in art and design. You've touched on that briefly. That was at college or school. Has it helped you? I mean, has any of that helped you with the art, design, colouring, that kind of thing, or has it helped you at all?
You know what? I think it has. I definitely would be lying if I said it didn't play a part in it.
Right,
I think I always go back to that's kind of what ignited the fire, if you will.
right, right.
Um, I think just experimenting with different colours, different patterns, seeing a different outlook on When you see a garment, a piece of clothing, I think a lot of people who aren't in this industry or aren't in touch with
Yeah.
it won't have the mindset of breaking it down and thinking, what kind of what we could create of that, or
Right. Right.
but I
I
think
mean, with you, I mean, do you get a say in what you wear necessarily? Do you say, look, blue suits me the best, or do you have any influence in that, or do you just get given a garment, you've got to run with it?
it's a mix, really. But mostly, I must say, I've been quite lucky in the fact that majority, apart from Catwalk, which is a different story, but
Right.
just working with brands on brand promotion on social
Right.
media, it's been very much that they have let me pick the outfits, and they will
Right.
gift them to me to then promote in my own style. Um,
Right.
because I've already built up a variety, and I built up my own niche of my portfolio.
Right. For
So
those people listening in now, yes, I will put Lexi Joe's details in the podcast description box for sure, so that you can follow her on Instagram. Talk about confidence, because everybody in your industry, everyone I talk to anyway, has said, actually, I'm quite shy, quite reserved. I'm not really loud spoken, but if you saw them at work, you wouldn't believe it. Is, is, that, is that you? Are you someone who's actually quite an introvert, actually, in real life? Or are you Lexi Joe, the brand you've created?
you know what? Yes. I think before I did modeling's had such a massive impact on
Right,
my confidence. Before I went into modelling, I had zero confidence. I was so
right,
shy. Whenever my mum got a camera out on holiday, I wouldn't even want to be involved. I'd be like, put it away, mum,
right,
put it away. Like, can't cope. But since doing modelling, it's just made me realise that we've got to recognize self-doubt is a normal part of the process in this
yeah,
industry and
yeah,
in general. You know, it helps us to constantly evolve and
sure.
experiment. And
Sure.
I think,
I've always wondered about how models can take a bad picture. There's no bad pictures of you on Instagram.
oh,
Everything looks
trust
so
me, there
good.
is.
Really. So, um, all right. So, what was a turning point that you felt your confidence began to grow? You must have had a turning point. Was it when somebody said, was it what you just said about someone saying, listen, we want you to work with us? Was it your best friend saying, oh my God, look at the shots you've taken? What was that turning point for you to say, you know what, I could do this for a living?
The turning point for me was actually, I would say it was my first photo shoot, but
Right,
I think that's very, very early stages. After that photo shoot, I went for a modelling assessment over in Manchester.
right,
Um, and that was the turning point for me. I passed that assessment, and it was with industry professionals, and you don't ever, I'd never put myself in front of people in this industry before,
right,
um, who were so experienced and, knew it like the back of their hand. And the fact that they could really see something in me in that
yeah.
moment.
That's
And
amazing. Yeah.
that gave me the push I needed to take this into a career. So
Whilst all
I
this,
always go back to that moment.
whilst all this is going on, did you have a build? You were building your Instagram, your
Yes.
following. Did that help? Is it necessary to be on Instagram? I guess you're going to say yes, of course. But I mean, social media for you, was that kind of a platform that worked in harmony with making that decision to do this full time, or at least most of your time?
Yeah, yeah, social media has been, I mean, it's the way of the future now, but it has been
Sure.
a massive push. I mean, I've just
Right.
noticed I started building my portfolio on there. Um, and I decided at the beginning not to go with the website option. I
Right.
did get
Yeah.
recommended that, but I
Yeah.
decided to stick to Instagram and test the waters. And it's over 5 years, it's worked absolute wonders. I mean, the engagement rate has just soared. Um, People, I always say luxury over quantity,
Right. Right.
which is I don't care how many followers I've got and stuff like that. I just care about the quality of the people I've got in my
Right.
bubble.
So you've got a
And
team behind in your bubble. You've got a team. You've got your photographer, your go-to photographer, go-to designers. I guess you've built a kind of like an ensemble of people who work with you to make you look that good.
Yes, and I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly always open to working with new people,
Right.
because I think everyone's got a different style as such, and it creates such a variety in your work, and it's really great to get your. It's such a
Hmm.
sociable industry, I think, and
Yeah.
you can make such great connections,
So
and that pushes you forward.
let's talk about that first photo shoot experience. You've got me thinking about that. Was it
Mm.
was it so you walk through the doors, it's your first time, there's the photographer, and did the photographer have to steer you in a certain direction, or did you just work the camera? Because you said they pulled you to one side and said, oh my god, this is amazing.
I know. I mean, obviously, for your first photo shoot, you are going to receive a little bit of guidance of, where to
Sure.
place your hands, where to,
Sure.
which position to look in, and not to
Yeah.
always be looking at the camera, but kind of having a natural, relaxed
Sure.
persona.
Yeah.
But I really fell into it straight away. It just
Yeah.
clicked.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, all right. What about ambition? I mean, 5 years ago, you set out some goals. I did anyway. I manifested them. But
Yeah,
did you get post-it notes, put them on the mirror, and say, "Listen, within 5 years, I want to do this." How did it sort of steer
absolutely.
you? Really, that was you too?
Absolutely, it was. Yeah. I really wanted to work on developing my own unique personal brand and really
Right.
embrace it, and to identify what would set me apart in the industry if I was really going to find my way. Um,
Yeah.
I think I've stuck very much to commercial, which is the advertising side of modeling, um,
Right.
and created a consistent portfolio. That's always something I wanted to create that reflects my
Right.
personal style, my interests, um, so
Uh,
I could
Is
attract the
that
right partnerships.
Is that changing? I mean, you've obviously evolved because when I was looking through the Instagram, your portfolio, I could see how you've been evolving. Your next 5 years, what does that look like?
My next 5 years, I mean, I really just want to stay focused. That is a key
Right.
thing. I want to be consistent, keep learning and improving. Um, my goals would be to one of the things I've got on my radar is I've been reached out to so much by people over on Instagram and other social media platforms on how much I've inspired them with my journey. And so I really want to take the opportunity to support aspiring models in starting their modeling journey.
That's a nice
I
thing
would
to do. Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
love to influence other people.
Right, right. Interesting. Okay, so I mean, that's the greatest thing. I think that really is an important thing because there's so many people who are lost doing or trying to enter this, and it is a harder game than it was 5 years ago, right? To come in
Mm.
now, you're up against really big social media followings and all sorts of things. It's quite hard. It's not hard. It's harder, more challenging, but still can be done. Yeah. What about ambitions for? I always ask this question. Are there any big brands out there that you'd love to work for? And if you're listening, big brands, listen out for Lexi Joe. So tell me,
Well,
yeah, go on. Who would you like to work with in a dream sequence?
a in a dream sequence, well, my absolute the person who I think is an absolute icon and has been a massive inspiration for me in the industry is Kate Moss.
Right,
With her being British, with her being a slightly more smaller model,
right,
because I am myself with just being 5'3",
right.
so I'm not the typical height. But yeah, I would say definitely Rimmel London would be absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm known for my iconic red lip. I'd love to
Right.
bring that back.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you're listening out there, I'm not sure she is, but if she is, Lexi Joe, contact Lexi Joe. All right. Let's talk about motivation and being sort of continually motivated. 'Cause it's quite hard sometimes. We all have that sort of like can't be bothered. I mean, do you have those moments? Are you always, or are you under the pressure to perform every day? You know, putting on the right clothes, the right makeup. No one sees you
Mm.
in your slippers and your dressing gown. So, um, are you always on show?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
She's an emerging talent in the modelling world who makes no secret of also balancing her time with music and digital media, working with iconic brands such as Yves Saint Laurent, Revolution Makeup and Shane, to name a few. Maria Valentina shares her professional and personal journey with us. Maria's magazine editorial is available on our website in glossy print and in a Catwalk Diaries digital magazine. Visit networkingmagazine.co.uk or check out our bio for details.
I'm extremely ambitious. I always have been, and I
Right.
just don't stop.
Wow.
To the
Wow.
point where
Okay.
everyone's like, Lexi, just, take a chill
Yeah.
pill a minute. But I
Yeah.
just feel like I need to just keep pushing it to get
Right.
results.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a natural thing. I can't control it. I just want to keep doing well, and I really want to um, go far.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about setbacks then. Let's talk about the negative stuff because everyone's got those too,
Yeah, of
right? We've all,
course.
setbacks, tough moments. We've all had them. Come on then. Let's talk to me about your tough moment. Did you have one? You got to have one. Come on.
Of course. I think the biggest battle for me has been balancing modelling with back when I was in catering management,
Right.
balancing modelling on the side of that was extremely difficult. Some weeks I'd be doing 6 days a week as a manager, and then I'd still be going home late at night and doing my research, thinking, what do I need to do next in my modelling career? Um, I've just constantly had a dream to, eventually leave catering and go into
Hmm.
this industry, which is what I'm doing now. But balancing the two was extremely difficult, and I really had to have quite a strong mindset to do that. So it was quite mentally draining.
Well, I mean, you must have worked late nights. Did you have to audition the next day?
Yeah, so when you have casting stuff, you're doing self tapes. You might get
Hmm.
invited somewhere, and I'm struggling because my time's taken up so much by
Yeah.
just my normal job that I'm having to kind of shift my days around, and it's just not the way you ever want to carry on. But I mean, at my age, and you've got to
Yeah.
make money, and
Yeah.
it was
You
always
had to
going to
do
be
it.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're now collaborating. I heard something about you working on an app, a fashion app or something like that. Enlighten me. What are you doing?
So very exciting. So I touched earlier on how there's a lack of opportunity in
Yeah.
my area
Hmm.
for this industry. And so I've actually recently teamed up with a wonderful designer in my area. Shout out to House of Tui, who's making an extreme movement. And together we are partnering to create a whole in East Yorkshire Fashion Week, which has
Wow.
never been done before. It's going to be a platform that's dedicated to celebrating fashion, culture, community, and creativity within the Hull and East Yorkshire area. So we really aim to empower emerging talent and connect education with industry. So work
Right.
closely with students, give them the opportunity to showcase their designs and capture the talent from an early age.
Right.
Um,
And do you have
and
your own
yeah,
separate Instagram account for that? Or do people
yes.
connect with you? Okay. So what's the Instagram account?
Yes, so it's Hull and East Yorkshire Fashion Week. I do have it over on my page, and I will be connecting to the account, so I will be posting on there as well.
Right. Okay.
Because I've just joined the team, I'm going to be creative director.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Look at that. That's quite from someone who was so shy and an introvert and saying to your mum, "Don't take any pictures of me." To this is incredible. So that's really exciting. Really, really exciting. Who are you looking for? I mean, if there are models out there, you're looking for them. You're looking for designers. You're looking for anyone in the fashion industry. What are the specific requirements for someone to contact you?
Yes, so it's obviously very early days in the process, and we
Sure.
are currently having the meetings to build it up. We really want to get the talent from our local area, support the local businesses around, and shape a stronger creative future for our region. So
Right.
we really want to attract talent from within the area if we can.
Right. Okay.
and work with local designers. And obviously, I'll be casting for designers and models in the upcoming months as well.
Excellent. Wow.
But
I'm
I really
impressed.
aim to. Oh, thank
I'm
you.
impressed. Yeah, very good.
I really want to kind of bring people in who maybe have the same story as me,
Right.
where they don't think that, there may be a lack of confidence, and they
Sure.
need, we're going to be the ones to take that confidence for them, and really show them what they can do.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Well, actually, if you, I'll put down the Instagram account and the podcast description box as well. This podcast is going
Sure.
out on Amazon. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's just everywhere. So I think another 10 or 15 platforms as well. So it's everywhere. So it'll be in the podcast description box. Next question. How do you balance personal expression with the expectations of the modeling industry? That's a good question, really. I mean, you've got a lot to say. Personal expression meaning your personality, the way that you are, your particular look. Sometimes you even look a bit 80s to me. So,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. You do. But other times you can look completely, very futuristic, like straight out of a movie. I was going to ask you about that as well. Maybe I'll just change the question.
yeah.
Would you consider acting?
Funnily enough, I have been told I'd be really good at acting.
Right.
Um, you know what? I think it does come with experience behind the camera, but also, to have the ability to switch between different looks and different facial expressions as well.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think maybe that's where people have got it from. But I definitely wouldn't shut it down. I mean, at the moment, I'm very focused in my modeling, and I
Yeah.
really want
Sure.
to see how I can push that and stick to my niche. But at the same time, absolutely, I've always thought of wanting to do acting. I think I'd love to give it a go if the opportunity came.
Wow. Okay. Right. There you go. So if anyone's out there, any movie producers, anyone looking for actresses, podcast description box. So,
Sign me up.
okay. So how do you see the fashion industry evolving? I mean, that's it. Things have changed. It has evolved over the last 5 years. We can see that there's diversity. There's so many changes in the fashion industry over the last 5 years. How do you see it emerging? What kind of changes do you think will happen?
I think I completely agree with you. I think it's becoming increasingly more diverse and inclusive. We're seeing
Hmm.
shorter models on the catwalk. We're seeing, a more
Inclusive.
diverse,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, more inclusive. We've got more remote work, I think, coming out as well. Where brands are making it possible to
Sure. Sure.
work with you from any location, reducing the pressure to relocate to expensive capitals for a lot of people, which is, it's helped me a lot as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and what advice would you give to young people struggling with self-confidence? That's a good one. You've been through it, you've lived it, breathed it.
Mm.
What kind of, forget the modeling for a minute, but just with self-confidence, what would you say?
I would say, in general, mistakes are learning tools rather than a reason to quit. I think, and a really massive one I would say is surround yourself with supportive people that understand you. Um, and your mindset, and kind of changing your mindset to, instead of saying, I hope this works, to it will, revisit your passion, understand, why you
Sure.
started.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so be positive and don't look at the negative. Surround yourself in positive people as well. So, that's kind of what I do
100%.
as well. I try and cut out the people who are negative and just surround myself in positive. Okay, looking ahead. We've talked about your dreams of working with designers, that sort of thing. But what about your goals? Is there something you want to do? Produce a movie? This fashion show takes off. Would you go global? Is there something that you want to do? The next chapter of your life?
Yes, definitely. You know what? I would absolutely love to take. I hope that the Fashion Week really works for us, and I think it will. With the right team behind it and the right people, I think
Yeah,
we can really take it far. And I'd absolutely love the opportunity to be the face of a brand.
perfect.
Going back
Yeah,
to not just the way I look, but someone who really sees my personality as well and wants to incorporate that into their brand strategy. And I really want to mark my place in fashion history. I am a petite model, and it's very difficult for me to get into things like runway, but I've done Paris Fashion Week. It is possible, people.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's a great, to hear you say that. You must be inspiring so many people listening to this, thinking, maybe they're writing themselves off a bit too soon. You've broken the mold. So that's really, really good. Yeah. Well, any plugs? You can plug anything you like.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, if anybody would like to support us over on Hull and East Yorkshire Fashion Week, that would be absolutely amazing. So I'd love to plug that one in there.
Okay. Well, listen, I could talk to you all day, all evening, as it is 8:30.
I could talk to you all evening.
Listen, it's been great to have you on the show. Maybe you'll come back and speak to us and tell us, what it was like on the next chapter. When your platform is done and you've had some success with it, maybe come back on and talk to us.
Thank you so much. I'd absolutely jump at the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. To the audience who are listening in today, thank you for listening. And as I mentioned, all of Lexi Jo's details will be in the podcast description box, wherever you get your podcast from. Till next time, bye for now. Cypher Issue 2 is out now. In this edition, we feature singer-songwriter Kelsey Watts, who performed on The Voice. She's just released her new single, Fit In. We also interview Helen King, a talented indie singer-songwriter who's gaining international attention. Actor and producer Jonathan Stoddard shares his personal and professional journey with us, and we also talk to martial artist James Sang Lee, who's worked as an actor, stuntman and fight choreographer in movies like Lethal Weapon 4 and Plane, starring Gerard Butler. You can buy Cypher in print or read it online at our website, networkingmagazine.co.uk. Check the bio for details.